Hey guys, it's Kris with Custom Fit Real Estate, and today we'll be discussing closing costs and how that might impact you when you're buying or selling property here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today I have a special guest with me, Scotty of Equity Title in Nevada.
Hi, everybody.
And we will just kind of roll right into it. So Scotty, what are closing costs?
So closing costs are the fees associated when buying and selling real property here in Clark County, okay? And I just have to say this right out the gate to make sure there's no problems in the future, that 100% of these costs can be negotiated in a real estate contract. And that's why you use a professional like somebody here at Custom Fit Real Estate Group to represent you when buying and selling home here in Clark County.
Perfect. And Scott, if you can kind of explain how the market is, whether it's buyer's market or seller's market, how that might indicate who's going to be paying for closing costs.
Of course, yes. Right now in Las Vegas and in the Las Vegas area, there are not very many listings. It is 100% a seller's market. I mean, you see it on your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed, fire, house sell, prices up. Seller's market is where we're all right now. So we are seeing these buyers come in with some pretty aggressive contracts, like paying above appraisal, like paying for some of the seller's closing costs at the closing table. So yes, it is 100% indicator on what to expect.
Okay, perfect. And also, can you tell us how these closing costs are calculated?
Okay, so they are actually calculated by the sales price of the property.
Okay, sounds good. And also, some common questions that I get from buyers and sellers is, do they need to save for this when purchasing a home or selling a home? Is that something that they should be financially preparing for?
Of course, yes. When buying a home here in Clark County or anywhere, you do have to save some money because you most likely are going to get what's called a loan on the property. And that becomes, you have to have a down payment with that loan, and there will be some closing costs that title will charge you. Not very many though. Most of the time the seller has more of those closing costs on their side of the settlement statement is what it's called, because they pay for a few standard costs like title insurance. And a lot of people ask, what is title insurance? I work for a title insurance company. Well, here, let me just explain it to you in the most layman terms as possible, okay? Title insurance is like reverse insurance. Like I pay for pet insurance for anything that might happen to my puppies here in the future, because I want to make sure they're covered and they're insured. Well, title insurance works from the day that you purchase this property. Nothing in the past will come back and bite you as the new homeowner. No old mortgages that were not paid off, no old liens, mechanics liens are not going to be the new buyer's problem. So it's really the seller pays that cost to ensure that the background of this property is 100% good to go.
Perfect. And also, if we are not assuming a loan, if we're paying cash, is there also closing costs in transactions, so just cash only?
Yes. So cash deals are the best because we can close a lot quicker because there's not a lender involved and there's just less stipulations with that. But there still are closing costs involved with that. And I'll just go ahead and name the closing costs associated with a cash purchase here in Clark County. So you will pay half of the escrow fee. And for those of you that may not know what escrow is, an escrow agent is just a neutral third party that facilitates the transaction of the sell or buy of the real estate transaction, okay? So that's what that person does. And the escrow fee is to pay that person for them handling the transaction throughout the 10, 30, 45-day process, okay? And after that, they will pay an inspection fee of $50. They will also pay a recording fee to the county, which will now record the deed into their name of $47. They will also have to pay any prepaid HOA assessments. Okay, now this is only for properties that are in an HOA or what's known as a homeowners association. Now, if it's not in an HOA, obviously these costs would not be associated with that purchase. And then the last and definitely not least thing that we do have to collect on that cash purchase are property taxes. They are prorated to the next quarterly payment. So we do typically take in about 60 days worth of property taxes at escrow.
Now, can you kind of explain what that entails for the client and what is it actually covering?
Of course, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and itemize a few things here for you guys to know what to expect for your fees. So the title insurance policy is going to be covered by mainly the seller on a typical transaction. And you're also going to pay an escrow fee, which is actually split 50-50 with the buyer and the seller of the transaction. And there's also what is known as real property transfer tax, RPTT. It is $5.10 per $1,000 of the sales price of the property is what the seller will have to pay the county when we record that document. So it is a little bit of a chunk of money, but it is something required by the county on each transaction. There is no getting around that. I am sorry. They'll also have to pay for any HOA packages, any HOA transfers, any HOA assessments and dues will be prorated in that closing statement as well. And prorated means we are just gonna adjust it depending on the day of the month that the actual escrow closes, okay? And last but not least, loan and lender costs are a big part of when you buy a home. Every lender charges a different origination fee, different points. There are a ton of different variables that can go into that. So when you are really looking into purchasing a home in Clark County, it's good to get with your real estate agent and get a good lender that has your back and can get you qualified to know exactly how much money or how much purchase power you will have when looking for a home.
Thank you so much for clarifying closing costs for buyers and sellers in today's market, Scotty. If you have any additional questions when it comes to purchasing or selling a home in today's market, please give one of your custom fit agents a call.